Welcome back everyone, I'm Craven and this is called Steel. We are here in front of the Grand Market, the Celdic Grand Market even, and we are basically at the start of our investigation into the vandalism and the theft of goods at the market. Because 2 stalls have been broken apart and all the goods stolen, and each of them are blaming each other for being the culprits behind it. Logically, I doubt it, that they are both behind it, but we need to investigate this like we promised Otto we would. So, since we're not allowed to leave town until we have spoken to the people at the Grand Market, I think let's start with that and maybe pick up the optional quest as well, since it is of course at the market itself as well. Afterwards we'll talk to the rest of the town as well, and Otto for giving us the other optional request. I think we could probably already do the extermination if we are allowed out of town, but it never hurts to get some extra information from the quest giver. So that's what we're gonna start with today. Excuse me, would you happen to be Lizzie? Oh, that's correct. Does that make you the students from Thors who the market manager said will be coming then? Yep, that's us. We came to see about the request you sent in. Could you explain the situation to us in full? Of course. I happened to come across someone's wallet by the store yesterday, you see. I kept it with me in the hope that they would come to pick it up, but no one came to claim it. As such, I'd like to ask all of you for your help in delivering it back to its owner. Would you be able to do that for me? Sure. Since we are talking to everyone in town, if they are still here, I'm pretty sure we can give it back. We'd be happy to help. Thank you. Here's the wallet that I found then. Lost a wallet. Oh, we'll be sure to take good care of it. I assume that you already inspected the contents? I did indeed. Unfortunately, there wasn't anything inside that could help to identify the owner. What exactly was inside it anyway? Well, naturally there was mirror in it. Like a lot of mirror. This isn't just chump change we're talking about. The only other thing was a train ticket to Heimdallr that's scheduled for tonight. It sounds like the owner is a very well off traveler then. Well, there's not much we can do with that as our only lead though. I believe the train ticket is potentially our best lead. Yeah, we should we do with it. Should we go ask at the station? Yeah, considering it's for a train that leaves tonight, I imagine the owner is frantically searching for it. Which means they might have already been to the station themselves to ask about it. Let's head over to the train station then. Oh, sorry for the trouble, but I'm counting on you for this. Quest started. Yeah, I think this is probably a relatively easy one, but it does give us the extra AP and insight into the city. Going for a drink at the inn once we close up shop is a custom here, you see. So I didn't see the culprit and I couldn't tell you if anyone else did either. I have to admit that I feel for those two, even if their bickering did mean the market is opening up late. And to think I was ecstatic to finally participate in the famous Celdic Grand Market. What did I ever do to deserve this? Excuse me? You. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to see me acting like that. I hope you can forgive me for my inappropriate behavior. He seems really down. It is quite understandable. He's a merchant in a busy market, unable to do business. So, what brings you here? Did you need something from me? Well, actually, Rean explained that he and his classmates were investigating the truth behind what happened the previous night. You're investigating? That's right. I really appreciate it if you could answer a few questions for us. You may be able to help us find the true culprit. I suppose it can't hurt. It's better than doing nothing, at least. Yeah, you don't have to sound so pessimistic. Well, can you blame me? You're students at the Military Academy. You're not exactly ace detectives. Well, that is true, but we are still determined to find out who did this. We may even be able to recover your goods. Cooperating with us could prove quite fruitful. Okay, fine. I never said I wouldn't help you, did I? I am not sure what I'm supposed to say, though. It's not like I saw anything worth mentioning. You didn't? As soon as I made sure my stall was ready to open the next morning, I left everything set up and went home. The other merchants around here can vouch for that. Guess I shouldn't have left the stall unattended though. By the time I got in, it was too late. The deed had been done. So by the morning, the stall had already been destroyed and your goods stolen. Come to think of it, what goods were stolen exactly? Oh, I have a sample with me actually. So, a very high-class bracelet? An accessory? Is this a brand that's popular in the capital? It's been a real hit lately, yeah. I was hoping to bring the fat here by selling them at the market. But this is the only one I have left now. I dread to think just how much money I lost in one single night. The damn coward, sabotaging my business. It's much too early to be jumping to conclusions. Do you have any evidence that proves his culpability? No, but he's clearly the prime suspect. He was so against the idea of taking turns sharing the spot with me, he decided he'd destroy my stall altogether. I just know it. I'm going to get him to give me my goods back no matter what it takes. Please, try to stay calm. You do know that if you cause more trouble, the provincial army really will arrest you, right? Yes, I know. But it's a matter of justice. I can't just act like nothing ever happened. It is wrong on general principle. I'm begging you, please get my goods back whatever it takes. Well, I can't promise success, but I swear to you we'll do everything we can. That much I can promise. I think that's everything this merchant knows. Let's try questioning the other one. I've lost my stall, I've lost my goods. What did I ever do to deserve this? I can't turn tail and run away after this though. I'd lose my pride as a merchant. It's all up to you now. Please, do what you can to get my stuff back. And try to make sure whoever did this pays for it too. Well, we can only say we're gonna try. What say we take a stroll down the highway, Clarice? I heard that the Celdic has many beautiful sights to offer at the time of the... Clarice? Please don't ignore my desperate pleas. Yeah, he wants to get rid of her from the market so she doesn't spend another 300,000 mira on stuff. Oh, thank Idios, my silk hasn't snatched away by some sly scoundrel. Time to make father relinquish his wallet to me once again. Oh yes, how much was it again? 300,000? Or perhaps 400? No matter, I'll pay as much as is required, even if that means selling our mansion to afford it. I don't think she's actually listening to what she's saying. She's willing to become homeless for a piece of fabric. Okay. Well, there aren't very many customers, are there? Not every year is going to be good, but it would be nice if we could end the spring market without bitter memories of it. Yeah, I do understand what you're saying. With all the ruckus, people are just staying away because they don't want the drama. They just want to have a good old time visiting the market. Oh boy, another post lost the will to do anything. Kinda pathetic if you ask me. Being a merchant is all about learning through your failures. I'd start borrowing mirror off people to buy stuff and they'll sell that off to make a profit. That's how you gotta think as a merchant. Well, she has the right idea, but that doesn't mean they don't have the right to figure out what actually happened. Who did this? Where is their goods? It is a nice attitude to have. Welcome, welcome. Feast your eyes on my wares and buy up. I have to admit, those tax increases are definitely taking their toll. I have to raise prices to make up for what I spent, which ends up costing me sales. I don't have the luxury of taking other people's situation into consideration when I got to make a profit myself here. Right, I don't care who you are, come and buy something. Anything. Alright, so still having the 3 classic ones, which I have determined, also by comments, to just make sure I have 1 accessory of each thing of the market before we leave. I don't think these 3 are unique, but I just want to make sure I have at least 1 of everything in my inventory. And that way when we start really checking out what accessories are good for the place, cause when we get into a region, you learn which statuses will be used more. We can pick the one that fits that location the best. Or less until we get to like a gladiator belt or anything like that that raises CP, cause I'm all in for that. Can you imagine that? Laura having a CP regenerative belt on her? Damn, she's gonna be insane. Oh my, that stall over there has been brutalized quite badly. You're asking if I've seen the culprit? Who knows? I try not to pay attention to things that aren't bees or honey. That is actually true, because we saw her in front of the market this morning and the only thing she could talk about was, I want to get back to my honeys. And I'm fairly confident it wasn't perpetrated by bees at the very least. And that's all I happen to know. Still selling the same old damn syrup. What the hell am I supposed to do now? Excuse me? I'm sorry to bother you, but do you have a moment of your time? You're those kids from the Military Academy, right? What do you want from me? I've got nothing to sell you, obviously. Even if I did something to sell, I've got no place to sell it. I'm basically ruined. And to top it all off, the provincial army and that damn merchant are acting like I'm the one who did it. He's not taking this very well, is he? Hard to blame him, but we need to see if he knows anything that might be helpful to us. Well, you see, Rean explained that he and his classmates were investigating the truth behind what happened the previous night. You're investigating this mess, huh? Okay. So, would you consider cooperating with us? Sure, why not? I'm not getting my hopes up, but as well, sure you can understand, but hell, I've got nothing left to lose. Not exactly a vote of confidence. Hey, he's willing to cooperate. I say we cut him some slack and hear him out. So, about last night. At the time the incident actually happened? Last night, huh? Well, I don't know how much help I can be if that's what you're asking about here. See, I left the market right after arguing with the merchant yesterday and I didn't come back till this morning. I stayed over at a friend's place, another merchant. Just got pissed drunk and ranted at him all night. Are you certain of this? Positive. Ask my friend if you don't believe me, he'll back me up. I wandered over here with an awful hangover this morning, and what I found gave me one hell of a start. My whole stall was in shambles. And if that weren't bad enough, all the processed food I was going to sell were gone, without a trace. So the goods that were stolen were all processed foods? That is right. Nuts, cheese, bacon, all foods that have a long shelf life made with local ingredients. Seeing all my stuff gone really sobered me up. It was like I hadn't been drinking at all. And that's when I went over to that fool stall to make him pay for it. Why did you go straight to him? Because he was the one who did it, of course. He smashed the stall so he could have the spot to himself. But that doesn't make any sense. No, because he got the spot that he already wanted. He has no reason to vandalize his stall. Other way around? More logical, but the fact that they both were destroyed makes him less of a suspect to me. If Heinz did it, then why was his stall destroyed too? He must have done that himself. Probably figured he'd destroy his own stall so no one would believe he could be responsible. I somehow doubt it, because he's more of a nobility type, noble type merchant, and I don't see him doing something like that. At least at this point. I can always be proven wrong, of course. I don't know. That seems pretty unlikely. It's a bit excessive. While I understand your frustration, baseless accusations do no any favors and only cloud the true issue. But it's so frustrating. I've lost so much money because of this. I might have to shut up the shop for good. That's bad. If I could at least get my goods back. Maybe I could salvage enough to stay afloat, but what are the odds of that? None of the other merchants or anybody or anything. And the provincial army sure ain't about to help. I finished. Pure and simple. All the hard work I put into this far, and this is how my dream comes to an end. Well, I'll be honest. I'm not sure how much we'll actually be able to do for you, but we'll do everything in our power to help you find some form of closure. So, cheer up, okay? I do appreciate that, but again, I ain't got my hopes up. Good luck, though. Yeah, and his frustration is, of course, very reasonable. Just the person he's pointing the finger to, at this point in time, not the right one yet. That's all the two victims of this crime have to say, it seems. What does everybody think? I can't be sure, but I really don't think either of them is responsible. Both merchants certainly have adequate motive to damage the other's stall, but the chance of both committing the same crime on the same night without crossing paths is virtually nil. Agree with both of them. It is not impossible that they were just out stealing each other's merchandise, but I don't believe that's what happened. Both of them have alibis confirming they were somewhere else when the crime took place. I am inclined to agree. I just can't see either of these merchants being responsible for what happened. So we're going to have to look elsewhere to find viable suspects. Where though? I mean, who couldn't it possibly have been? I have a suspect. The question is, how are we gonna frame them? It's impossible to say right now. We don't have any solid leads. We know who the culprit wasn't, but how are we supposed to start narrowing down who it was? The market itself seems unlikely to produce any further clues, so we should focus on our attention elsewhere. Actually, there's one thing that's been bugging me. There's one group of people involved in this whole situation whose actions don't seem to make any sense. I think Rean is getting to the point where I was in the last episode. The provincial army. Maybe if we can work out the reason behind their strange behavior, we can come one step closer to finding our culprit. Whom do you mean? I'm talking about... The market mentions why the merchant... No, 100% the provincial army. Like I said in the last episode, these are the ones that are extremely suspicious. But it is a theory so far. I don't have any evidence to back that up. Only their actions, which are very suspicious. The provincial army. They haven't done a thing to try and solve this crime, despite it happening right under their noses. And that begs the question, why not? Personally, I think it's because of the tax issue. They raised their taxes significantly, and they're trying to force the market to just shut up and take it. Not handling any bad things that are happening, maybe even causing things to happen to lower the reputation of the market until they start to accept that high tax. Which I think is a very poor way to go, but it would be a reason for them to be doing this. The market manager said they're refusing to fulfill their role due to the tax issue, which means the provincial army should refuse to intervene in quarrels within the market as well. If that's true, then why did they come and intervene this morning? Now that you mention it, that really doesn't make any sense. Their methods were atrocious, but the fact is, they brought the dispute to an end almost instantly. They did get involved. Yeah, one minute they're refusing to do anything, and then the next they're taking a stand. It's definitely suspicious. My point exactly. There's definitely something unnatural about the way they're conducting themselves. And since we have no other lead, what do we say we go to the army's guardhouse and take a look around? We might be able to learn something from them that could aid us in our investigation. That would be worth an attempt. The guardhouse isn't too far from here either. Let's head over and see what we can find out. Ah, right answer straight away. 1 AP earned. I would always want some extra AP. And never say no to that. Ah, the Grand Market managed to get the started fine. Enough thanks to you a lot. We really do owe you one. There is nearly as many customers as usual, but, well, no worries. There is plenty we can to fix things, but that the market actually is open. Alright. As long as I don't have to talk to you too much, then it's fine. Lots of nice goods. Let's talk to everyone before we go, just to make sure. It saddens me to say that the provincial army has been acting like that for quite a while now. Part of me believes that they actually enjoy causing trouble for us merchants. What a pain in the ass. They bother me even more than a tax increase, if I'm perfectly honest. And that's it. That's the point I'm trying to make. They're trying to cause so much trouble that they're gonna start thinking the tax isn't as bad if the provincial army can keep everyone under control. Well, that's coercion in the worst form ever. Alright, he has just items. I'm just trying to make sure that where the accessories are on the market. I can't believe someone would actually go out of their way to destroy one of the stalls here. Nothing much done about it either. I don't think any of us here to appreciate the attitude which that was handled. If this was back when I come from, Braids or the army would have come and sorted it out. True. And I think the provincial army would normally do it as well. But I think they've been ordered not to. I just can't believe somebody would do something like this. Hopefully they can get caught soon enough. Okay, we got the chapters. This seems like definitely a unique one, but like I said, I need the place to collect some more Mira, because we're a bit short right now. Ah, looking at all these cute plush dolls make you realize just how pointless it is to fight with others, doesn't it? Feel free to buy one if you're looking for a good way to relax after all that's happened here today. And for this, it's about 4.5, let's say 5,000. That's a lot. Oh well. We can grind for any amount we need. There don't seem to be many customers at the market today. Perhaps it was to be expected after everything that's happened over these past few days. Still, it doesn't pay to give up. No matter how hopeless things may seem, bright lights shine in the darkest of times. I don't intend to let anything stop me from finishing my business here. Do I have any clue as to who the culprit is, you ask? Oh, how sly of you. You wish to imply that even a heartless criminal would stop in their tracks after hearing my music. Yes? No, I'm just wondering if you know anything. I don't recall their face, unfortunately. Simply because to me, they were nothing but another member of my massive audience. I think it's safe to assume he doesn't know anything. Or your massive audience that is standing here. Alright, that says everyone for the Grand Market. So we still have the 2 streets we need to check out. And of course making our first steps for finding the owner of the wallet. Is there really a criminal going around causing trouble at the Grand Market? There isn't? I can't believe you, Mom. Mom told me to stay away from the Grand Market because it's dangerous. She really should make sure things she says are true first. Certainly, that's really true. It's hard to believe just how bad things have been for the Grand Markets these past few days. I worried about how this will affect all the customer turnout. At the very least, I hope they're able to capture the culprit. Hey, I will do my best. I almost bumped into some soldiers from the provincial army as they were coming out of their guardhouse. My heart almost stopped for a moment when I realized they were there. Just seeing them annoys me though. They act so important, yet they sit around and do nothing. Yeah, which is a very bad form. I didn't manage to sell that much this morning after all. Man, why does this trouble have to happen and get in the way of me making Mira? A busy market is the best thing for business. And of course having some new issues, Chris, really. After entering the station, they asked about whether or not there had been any inquiries in regards to the lost property. Yes, there was an inquiry. The wallet seems to match the description we received too. Can I ask when the inquiry was made? I believe it was this morning. A young lady came along in panic, claiming that she was at a complete loss without her wallet and its contents. From what I could tell, she seems to have been traveling alone too. Oh, I get why she's would be in a panic then. Did she say anything else that could lead us to her? Well, she did mention something about returning to the inn to do a thorough check, if I recall correctly. It's the Weathercock Inn right down the street, you can't miss it. How convenient, we happen to be staying there ourselves. Okay, let's go ask Margot. Okay, so we got a hint on where the person is. And let me guess, when we get there, she's already gone to another location. Let's talk to the other two locations first. That way we have the entirety of this side done for our investigation. I can't believe someone would actually trash a merchant stall. Bring that culprit to me if you find them. I'll give them a beating they'll never forget. Yeah, I don't think that's the right answer to this. I think it's better if they are arrested and made to face justice in the end, instead of being killed. I can't believe someone would actually trash a merchant stall. Nothing here we want, we have everything, that's good. The Rainforest Groups is one of the largest weapon manufacturers on the continent, so most people just buy from them. Which means our smithy is just a place for keeping weapons and farming tools in working order. It's depressing, but that's the world we live in now. That's why I decided to work with Orbans instead. Too bad Dad won't accept that though. Well, it is a way to look at it. If one gigantic company makes the best quality products for the least price, yeah, you are technically screwed as a store. Yeah, I don't think he has it's not a bad idea, really. But we're basing it on assumption because we have no idea how big Crimeford Company is just yet. We only know that it's one of the biggest one on the continent. And a very famous one. Mom got real mad at me, so yeah, sorry about yesterday. Promise me you won't pull any more stuff like this anymore, okay? I'll forgive you if you do that. Yeah, I promise. Here, take this too. It's real special to me, so you know I'm being serious. Damn it, I bet it was her who told my mom. Two can play at that game. Okay, so what's the book he just gave her? I've been through too much thanks to Jake and his pranks. These country kids are such bullies. Is there gonna be something in that book he's given? Or is it just like another page in the Cornelia books that we are trying to collect once again? Yeah, I think Lulu knows more. I was told that Jake and Susie aren't a good match for each other. But that's silly. Getting along with each other is so much better. I think they'll become friends one day. That's why I told Mommy about what Jake did to her yesterday. Ah. That's supposed to be a secret though, so don't tell anyone else. No, I won't. She did it! She did it! Yeah, sadly there's no option to making creative answers to people. Father Zerbil seems to have been expecting the current increase in conflict in town for some time. He won't discuss what's happened with me though. He's just telling me to focus on Sunday school. I didn't know he was getting letters from Archbishop Amon quite often at one point. Perhaps that has something to do with it. Father Zerbil seems to have been expecting. It's really not a clear line on which characters have two lines and which have one. I thought it was just like character with names have two and character without it just one, but it basically is both at this point. There's a lot of new things these days that have made life easier for everyone, like orbital phones and trains. We old folk, however, are much more thankful for Father Zerbal and his willingness to always lend us an ear. That isn't something everyone is willing to do nowadays, after all. Well, since we've been in town, we've listened to every part of your conversation, Lady Mulbo. Discord has been on the rise since here in Celdic for a while now. Yeah, I use Discord as well. It's a good app, but I have a feeling that's not what he's talking about. I haven't attempted to make appeals to Duke Elberea, but to no avail. This truly is saddening to see cases such as this mornings occur. Alright. They do mention it. Nothing of too important, at least not for our investigation. And I don't think we can get out yet. How did we do that? I know there was a way to teleport from one location to the other. Ah, there it is. Yeah, see, Celdic and West Celdic are both grayed out, so it does mean we can't leave the town just yet. So the elimination has to wait, but the wallet, that we can do. Welcome. Oh, hello there. Sorry, but things are a bit hectic right now. Margot's taking orders right now, so she's the one to talk to if you need anything. We definitely have more customers than usual today. It's nice for us, but I don't really like the idea of the Grand Market being empty either. The key to being a successful merchant is having the ability to predict what's to come. That does make sense. What I want to know is, how exactly can one do that? I know. We have sat and listened to my tale, so now it's time for me to impart this great wisdom upon you. First, you must close your eyes, then you must pray. Is this really going to work? Oh, don't rush things. Now, while praying, use your right hand to flip Louise's skirt like this. Oh, please, York, stop tracking poor travelers into listening to your silly stories. I'll ask Margot to kick you out if you keep it up, okay? You're as sharp as ever. Yeah, I don't think this guy has any business sense whatsoever. He's just a pervert, that's what he is. I've been had. This guy really doesn't know anything. Louise, your retorts get sharper and sharper as the years go by. She was so innocent when she first started working here too. It's amazing how people can change over time. Well, if you try to flip her skirt once a week, eventually she'll catch on. Yeah, you should change your name from Old Man York to Dirty Old Man York. I came all the way out here for nothing. I bet this was Ayus's way of telling me to watch out for guys like him. It's a lesson I'll never forget. Wait, really? The price of rye has gone down? Indeed, the commotion this morning ended up affecting everyone's trades. Because of that, the price of rye has dropped. Oh, this is bad, really bad. This affects our trade too. We did sign a contract, so I'm afraid I'll have to buy it off you at the current price. I can't believe this. Yep, and that's actually how businesses go. They are affected by everything surrounding it, like the people that use it, buy it, and all the situation on where you're getting those ingredients. Really nice way of showing that. Market prices can be influenced by almost anything, so it's always important that you pay attention to what's going on. My hard work paid off in the end, basically. Yeah, and she could never expected something like that to happen on the market. Oh, this isn't how things were meant to turn out. Spending my time happily eating away instead of doing my research and come back to bite me. Yeah, she should have sold her stuff before this whole trouble started. I don't know if she would have figured it out if she went to the market early. Still. Phew, glad that the market managed to open up after all. Managed to sell my veggies at the same price as usual too. Life ain't easy for the merchants though, especially with all those tax increases. Oh hey there, is something the matter? Do you have a moment? There's something we'd like to ask you. Rean explained the situation to Margot and asked if anyone had come along looking for the wallet. Oh, you're looking for Annabelle. Bad timing though, she just left. Oh, that's unfortunate. But we have a name now, at least. That will make life a lot easier. True. All that's left now is to actually meet with her. Well, she did mention that she'd be searching at the rest area in the Grand Market next. So you want to head there. Make sure you return it to her, okay? Oh, we will. Let's go. Oh, I heard all about you kids. The merchants were going on about how you helped make it so the Grand Market could open for business today. It's a bit worrying that the market manager himself couldn't control the situation though. Maybe it's time to start thinking of this as Celdic's problem instead of just the merchants. I think that's a really good thing to start, because the Grand Market is such an integral part of Celdic. You cannot just let the market manager handle it on its own. If there is a problem, the entire village needs to handle it. Not just the market manager. Yes, he's the starting point, but the rest can help as well. Oh, it's safe to say that Celdic will start losing visitors if these things keep up like this. Maybe it's time to start thinking there's a problem instead of just the merchants. Alright. Is there somebody upstairs? Nope. Because I think the only one we saw upstairs there was actually Annabelle. All the way from our first episode in Celdic. Alright, let's see if she's still at the marketplace. They did say she was at the resting area. Nope, she's already gone. Excuse me, you wouldn't happen to know if a young lady came in here searching for a wallet, would you? She was indeed here a few moments ago, but she's gone now. Do you know where she went then? Unfortunately not. She did mention something about having no choice but to rely on ideals now though. Does that help you at all? I think the only place that could be the church. Shall we make our way to the church? That seems like our best bet for now. Yeah, the way that was described, it could have only been the church. She's probably praying to idols if her wallet could be found and returned to her. Well, I think her prayers shall be fulfilled, and her belief, her faith in idols would only grow. And we will get a reward for it. Oh, idols, please have mercy on my poor soul. I simply cannot believe this. How am I supposed to live on, having lost all my mirror in a place like this? Well, it looks like we found her. Oh, the tragic heroine act made this kind of obvious. Unfortunately, we'll have to interrupt her. Excuse me? Oh, just who are all of you? Well, you can turn right around if you're planning to rob me. I no longer have any... Please, calm down. We just want to ask you something. Are we correct in assuming that you are Annabelle? I am. Thought so. You wouldn't happen to recognize this wallet, would you? They showed Annabelle the wallet. That's my wallet. Where did you find it? Well, you see. They returned Annabelle the lost wallet and explained the situation to her. Oh, thank you so much. I'm surprised to hear that the merchants from the Grand Market kept it safe for me, however. Kindness remains within people's hearts after all, it seems. Yeah, looks that way. Regardless, I'm very grateful that you found it for me. Is there any particular amount that you'd like in return? You can take half of what's currently in here if you like. I don't think we can accept that. Your thanks alone is enough. Oh, I see. Well, how about this then? I purchased this as a souvenir at the Grand Market before the Great Wallet search began. Oh, a Pickard plush! I think that was 1500. I'll take it. I see no reason you can't accept that. In fact, I insist. I hope you find it useful. Thank you. We gratefully accept then. You're very welcome. Thank you again for finding my wallet. So, you managed to find the owner after all? And thank goodness. You really can't thank you enough. I'm glad we could be of help. Please, excuse us then. Quest completed. And of course, going back to the stall where we started the quest is only good business. But I was hoping that she would give us a discount on some of her crockery here. I would really love to take some home as a souvenir. Ah well, at least one case is closed, the other one still needs to begin. Are we allowed to get into autos? Yes. The provincial army has no intent of doing anything until we accept the tax increase. We'll just have to handle the situation ourselves. So I wish you all of luck on your investigation. Do remember to proceed with caution, however. There's no telling what kind of criminal we're dealing with here. Excuse us, but would you mind giving us some details about the monster you want exterminated? Not at all. The provincial army did say that they would handle it, but they don't exactly seem to be in a hurry to do so. That's why we had to request that all of you could take care of it instead. My apologies for that. Oh, it's perfectly fine. Please, don't worry about it. Just what sort of monster is it then? Well, from what I've heard, it seems to be a massive avian monster. It appeared last night, supposedly. Worse still, it appeared right in the middle of the highway and is blocking any passage through it. As such, we really do need to take care of it pretty quickly. As for a specific location, you'll find it by heading west once you left town. It apparently situated itself on a stone bridge located on the way to Heimdallr. Got it. We'll take care of it as fast as possible. We'll report back once we've done so too. As we always do. Oh, it's up to Otto to collect the tax money imposed on us by Duke Alberea. Each and every single mirror he collects represents the hard work put in by the merchants here. He must pain his heart to have to collect all that due to unfair taxes. I imagine so. Because his heart goes out to the marketplace. As we have learned, of course, in the past couple of episodes, that he was actually a very, very successful merchant for 7 years. So yeah, his heart is with the merchants. Alright, let's look at the other side of town. And with it, the guardhouse. Aren't you those students from that military academy, was it? What are you doing here? Well, we're terribly sorry to trouble you, but we were hoping you might be able to help us with something. Could we ask you a few questions about the incident that occurred at the Grand Market this morning? What? What does that have to do with you? Well, we're visiting this town on a field study as students of Thors Military Academy, and we would very much appreciate a chance to see how experienced soldiers such as yourself handle difficult situations every day. This seems like a perfect opportunity for an anecdotal case study, and could prove most invaluable to our education if you'd permit it. Alright, stay here and I'll see what I can do. Damn, Laura. As excuses go, that was a great one. It looks like we might be able to hear what they have to say for themselves after all. Nicely done, Laura. In times like these, we need to make good use of our positions. No one can fault a student for wanting to learn after all. But now comes the hard part. This is making me nervous. Well, let's just wait and see what we can get out of them. Remember, it's not always what they say that matters, it's how they say it. And even more importantly, what they don't say. Right. I hope you appreciate us taking time out of our busy schedules for this. So, what do you want? And make it quick, I'm a busy man, you know? He's not even trying to keep up appearances. Unbelievable. I'll be brief then. We came to discuss the incident at the market this morning. Would you be correct in assuming that the provincial army will be conducting no further investigation? Is that all you came here to ask? Is that all? Should the armed force charged with maintaining peace in this region not be taking this matter more seriously? Laura, I'm not sure. You got a big mouth for someone your age, and it seems you have a lot to learn about how military units actually work. What do you mean? Let me ask you this. What should the number one priority of the provincial army be in order to maintain the status quo? I'll tell you, their number one priority should be to enforce the will of their region's ruling lord. Duke Alberea. As member of the provincial army, rule of nobility is absolute. So basically, the Duke wants his tax increase, so they need to enforce it. So any squabbles that happen in the Grand Markets are not their concern. That's what he's saying, right? We're just following our orders, protecting what we have a duty to protect. I assume you're referring to the local petition against the sales tax increase? So you're saying as long as the petition isn't withdrawn, the Grand Market isn't something you have a duty to protect. Interpreted my words however you want. We're soldiers, we follow our orders, that's how the military works. And we don't need some fresh military academy inductees telling us how to do our job. This is nuts. Does he even have a tiny shred of shame? I was hoping we'd be able to get something out of him, but it sure doesn't seem too likely anymore. So, that's it then? I hope this has been enlightening. Now, if you excuse me, I have a job to do. Wait, would you mind answering just one more question? Elliot? Fine, ask it. Well, do you have any idea what might have happened to the goods Marco was handling? You know, the accessory merchant, all he had left was just one sample. What are you talking about? The merchant from the capital, Heinz, was the one who was planning on selling accessories. What? What did you just say? What are you looking at me like that for? I think they're looking like that because he named the merchant and we didn't give him that name, so he knows more about it. Is that what they're implying? How do you know that? I was under the impression you hadn't investigated the matter at all. How peculiar. We only discovered what each of the merchants was intended to sell a short while ago ourselves. Sir, we have our own ways of finding those things out. You do well not to underestimate us. Now, we've wasted enough time answering your questions. We're leaving. Good catch, Elliot. Really a good catch. Do you think the fact that they know what each of the merchants was selling means they did investigate the matter after all? But the burglary happened last night and it was only first discovered this morning. Realistically, I don't think there was any opportunity during that time for them to do any digging. Not without running into us. Agreed. I suspect that they knew what each merchant was planning to sell well in advance of yesterday's incident. Though that would be easy information for them to learn, since Duke Alberea must have issued permits for both stalls. That is true, and the army would have no trouble gaining access to the transaction records for something like that. But why would they bother? Maybe they needed to know so they could prepare. Prepare for what? I get the impression that the incident at the market has been carefully planned out for a while now. I don't think those merchants being given permits for the same spot was a coincidence either. It was probably done to get them to start fighting, so they could get robbed while there was tension between them. Basically, to create a situation that could be brought under control without couldn't be under control without the army's help. So the two merchants were being used after all. That seems to fit perfectly with what happened this morning. Meanwhile, the provincial army has shown no interest in actively working towards a solution, unless the market manager chooses to withdraw his petition. So they waited for things to get out of hand, then showed up and forced both parties into an uncomfortable truce. Eventually, the merchants would get worn down enough that they feel like they have no choice but to withdraw the petition. Oh, this is turning out to be an even shadier situation than I thought. Yeah, but thanks to Elliot, I do believe we finally uncovered the truth of the matter. There was indeed some very quick thinking you displayed, Elliot. You'd find a fine military strategist. I just got lucky, that's all. So, what we know is the provincial army is somehow involved in the actual perpetrators of this crime. The only way to solve it once and for all, though, seems to be, well, to find them and catch them. But if it was carried out by members of the provincial army, that's not going to be an easy task. No, I don't think anyone from the army was directly involved. The soldiers here are far too proud to dirty their own hands with such escapades. I tend to agree, really. Whoever the culprits are, I doubt they're still in Celdic. There just aren't many viable places to hide such a huge volume of goods without them being found out. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe they escaped by train? No, that can't be. Boarding a train with that much merchandise would raise suspicion for sure. Well, it's been less than a day since the burglary happened, so they can't have gotten far. Maybe we should ask around on the main roads and see if anyone saw anything out of the ordinary. Some suspicious may have been spotted leaving, or even entering a town. That does sound like a wise course of action. Come, let's resume our search. We mustn't let this cowardly thief run free. I wouldn't dream of it. Yeah, you can actually see that the further in the investigation we go, the more invested they get as well, the more determined they are to find the culprit. I love that. It's really slightly done, but just like in the fact that Elliot is asking a question because he seems like a very timid person, and for him to actually ask a question to that guard, it really took a little bit of courage for him to do so. That's how determined he was in order to find out that information. Really good. But yeah. And looks like we still can't leave yet. So let's see what happens if we try to do that. We should focus on getting more info before going anywhere else. Yeah, let's get back to asking around. So there's still a person here in town that knows something. Oh, this weird old guy's been hanging about outside the house for a while now. He reeks of drink too. I tried asking Mom why he's there, but she will not tell me. Oh, the provincial army directly serves the provincial ruling lord, so it's out of the question for them to take our sides. On the contrary, they start yelling at us for even getting close to them. Things like that make me worry for my child. I hope he doesn't do anything to anger them. Well, children will be children. If they mess around too much, they don't care where they are, and accidents can happen.
Yeah, my drink's all gone. Someone, anyone, give me some mirror. This poor old drunk needs some mirror. If you don't, then I'm gonna cry.
Really? You're gonna see a grown man drunk and cry on the middle of the road? Yeah, that's not gonna work. So, who do we talk to? Ooh. Looks like Lulu might have something to do with this. Or the girl sitting next to her. Lulu, are you okay? Look what that nasty man did to her. Is something the matter? Well, I was just chasing after Lulu near the west exit of town. And there was this really weird man asleep along the side of the street. A weird man? The drunkard we saw earlier, perhaps. Probably. The nasty smell coming off him nearly made little Lulu faint. That's terrible. It really was. I don't know who he is, but I'll have to keep an eye out on Lulu to make sure she keeps her distance from him. So he's not from this town then? I'm not sure. I only started seeing him around a few days ago. I've never seen him before like that. Really, Down? That sounds like a lead if I ever heard one. If he's drinking in the middle of the day, and it isn't Instructor Sarah. Brilliant poke at Sarah even though she isn't here. Then we know he's not a merchant at the very least. Yeah, I think we should go talk to him. Let's have a look near the west exit and see if we can track him down. Alright. Phew, I'm glad Lulu's safe. That old guy by the western exit. We'll be able to tell who it is because he stinks of alcohol. Okay, so we need to find like a very darkened cloud around a single person. We know it is. There's only one person near the exit that is that drunk. And it's been like that ever since we entered Celdic. Definitely.
Drink. Bear me another drink.
P.U. This guy reeks. How much has he put down? It's only midday and he's already completely blitzed. I don't think he's the man we're looking for. I think he'd have trouble pulling off a robbery. Sir? Are you alright? We can help you back home if you like.
Sheriff, leave me alone. I'm just a good for nothing who just lost his job. Looking after that nature park was my whole life.
Nature park? I wonder if he's talking about the Lunaria nature park we saw yesterday.
So you kids knew it. You see, I used to be the park ranger for that whole place.
And then you lost your job?
Yeah, out of nowhere too. I gave him a lot to the job, I did. And then he just came and took it all from me. That damned official just showed up out of nowhere and told me I was sacked. You can't even take a man's livelihood off him like that. It's not fair. That job was my life. My life.
Yes, we can see that. Something about this doesn't sound right. I agree. It hardly seems fair to take a man's job away from him without good reason.
Right? I'm so glad somebody understands how I feel. There's no way a bunch of kids like that are gonna do a better job than me.
Kids?
I was drinking here last night too, you see. And a bunch of kids in ranger uniforms went walking out of the town through the west exit. Weird thing was, they're carrying a bunch of wooden crates too, in the middle of the night. Kids these days, I'll tell ya.
You don't think they could have been... The nature park? I wouldn't have even considered it. But given its size, it would no doubt be a perfect hiding spot. Yeah, they have no trouble stashing the merchandise there undetected. The men standing at the entrance yesterday were probably there as lookouts. And if a provincial official was the one who told him he was fired, that's practically a smoking gun.
I say something useful or something? I don't know what I said, but if you help me out, why not buy me a drink?
I suggest you start trying to sober yourself up instead. There's a good chance we may be able to recover both your park and your job.
What?
We know our next stop. As soon as we're fully prepared, let's head out to Lunaria Nature Park. Right. And now we can leave the town once again, but I'm gonna leave it here. So just so I can get out to the highway and grind at least a little bit of mirror, because I'm thinking right now that if we enter Lunaria Park, it's probably gonna be like a new area, possibly with monsters that are higher level than the ones on the highway, and possibly giving us a bit more mirror. But we'll figure that out next time. Until then, I wish you all a great night, morning, day, wherever you are. And if you're still here, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and be back next time as we continue on our investigation into the vandalism and theft at Lunaria Park. See you then. Bye bye.